Hello everyone and welcome to this Copernicus Marine Service practical session in air about the storm Alex in Mediterranean Sea. My name is Simon Millet, I'm scientific engineer at Noveltis in France and I will be your trainer during this session. You will use the Jupyter notebook to see the evolution of storm Alex in air. You will also have a closer look at some CMM's products, their structure, format, variable, and how to plot and explore them. The notebook is composed of different sails, and some of them, like this sail, have a code inside. And to run the sail, you have two options. First, you click in this button here, or you use the keyboard shortcut Shift plus Enter. It is not here. And if for any reason the kernel is not working, you can click in this button to restart the kernel. So after exploring the netcd file, we make a basic plot of a wave. Then we will make a plot of wind with arrow. Then we will see the wave variation during the storm. We will see the precipitation flow, and finally we will see the temperature in the water column to see the impact of the storm. So this training focus on Storm Alex, which affected the south of France and in the part of the north of Italy in October 2020. It is an exceptional storm that create large damage, in particular in Alpes-Maritimes region in France, because the storm caused intense precipitation exceeding 500 millimeters in less than 24 hours, and creating severe flooding. From an oceanographic perspective, heavy runoff significantly alter the coastal water property, affecting sea surface temperature and increase turbidity. So in this training, we will allow to see the evolution of different parameters like wave, wind, sea temperature, and precipitation flow. So first, the notebook will be set up with all necessary libraries. So for this training, we will work with all this library. So there is ggplot2, that is a library for creating graphic, dplyr for manipulating data, rcolorbrowers, it is a library for color palette in plot, netcdf4, it is a netcdf file format, GridExtra, it is for arranging multiplot in a page. LibraDirect, it is a library for date-time data. Skulls, it is a library for aesthetic option and for skull map. GeoQuiver, it is to create a quiver plot. And Magic, it is for image processing, especially for creating GIF format. So first we load all the libraries. Here it is just information about it is a warning and information about the libraries. But here, if you are using another support and the library are not installed, you can use this command line to install all the libraries. In this training, we will work with Copernicus Marine Data Store. So here you have a link and you can see all the data available. There is many variables and you can explore all the product if you want and select some the main variable that you want or area, etc. So from the Copernicus Marine Data Store, you can explore all the products. And CMEMS provide free and open access data on the global ocean and European region. And you have Ncast data or near real-time forecast for understanding and managing marine ecosystem. So for this training, we will use three different datasets. The first is the sea physics reanalysis in Mediterranean Sea between the surface and 100 meters. So it is for temperature and precipitation flow. We will use sea wave reanalysis. So with significant wave height, the direction and the period. And the third, it is the global ocean yearly sea surface wind and stress. So it is for in Mediterranean Sea, and you have the product ID here. You don't have to download it because all the files are already downloaded in this training in the folder data here. But if you want to try, it is possible. You will need to have your own Copernicus Marine credential, so the username and password. If you have not, it is possible to create for free here in this link. So first, we will create a basic plot of wave. So first, we set the path, the netcdf file, and we load the netcdf file, and we can print here the data. So you can see there are three variables. So there are the peak period, the significant wave height, and the direction. And there is three dimension, time, latitude, and longitude. And here it is global attribute to have more information about the dataset. So here we load all the variable thanks to the function ncvarget. And it is possible to have some information about the variable, for example the dimension with function dim hs for significant wave height, and a value for a single longitude, latitude, and time. For example, for the second longitude, second latitude, and first time, the significant height it is above 3 meters. And here it is the dimensions of longitude, latitude, and time. It is possible to print the time, but you can see here it is a number, not a date. So to convert, we use the function asposix here, and we put the origin. The origin is noted in the characteristic of the dimension time here since January 1970. So we put here the origin, and you can see now it is a date. So now we will make a basic plot. So first we determine the figure size. Then we create a data frame. So dependent of longitude and latitude. So we have a data frame of significant wave height. That is only dependent of longitude, latitude. So we define the index of time. Here it is 150. And you can see the data frame, that is the significant wave height, and here the longitude and latitude. For plotting the data frame, we use a ggplot function. We add the data with geom tile. So with the data, you put the data frame here, the longitude, the latitude, and the variable. Here it is for color palette. So you put the color, the name of the color palette, the limit if you want. Here it is aesthetic option, title and subtitle, aesthetic option here too, and here it is to increase the size of text. Here it is to adjust the size of the color bar, and here to maintain the proportion between longitude and latitude. And finally, here it is to save the figure in the folder here, figure. So we can run the sail. And you can see a map of significant wave height in October 2020. And you can see near the coast between France and Italy here, the waves are height above 3 meters. So now we have seen how to plot a map. Now we plot a map of wind with an arrow to see the direction of the wind. So first we load the dataset and create the data frame. So here it is exactly the same code that we have seen before, but we load the variable, the data set of wind. So we run, and you can see here the time. Here it is a date. Then we convert the eastward and northward value of wind to the norm of wind, to have a value of wind, thanks to this formula. And then we create the data frame. So we put the index of time. Here it is the same like for wave. We select the variable for this index, and then we create the data frame. And you can see value of u, v, and wind is dependent only of longitude and latitude. We create a second data frame, especially for plotting the arrow on the map, because there is a large point in this data frame, and for reduce the number of points, we create the second dataset that is based on the origin dataset, that is df. So it is def space, so it's dependent of def, but we keep only value every 0.25 degrees of longitude and latitude. Then we create the plot. So first we determine figure size, then we use ggplot with the data frame, and we add vectors with geom_quiver. So we put the second data frame we have created, and we put u and v variable. So we can plot, and you can see here the wind for the same date that for wave, and the wind is coming from the southwest here, and is quite strong near the coast, exactly the same for wave height, because it is here that the wave are highest. Now we will examine the evolution of wave during the storm Alex. So to do this, we will compute the daily value and then plot all the corresponding map in animation, a GIF animation. So the main steps are the follow. We select the index of time. We create a data frame of the wave along with a spatial and temporal coordinate. Then we plot all the wave map for each day, and finally we generate the animation. So first we find the index of time. So we want the index for each 12 p.m. So for the first day it is this index, the second this index, etc. And then we create a data frame of wave that dependent of longitude, latitude, and time, and the time it is corresponding of the index. So you have longitude, latitude, time, and the significant wave height. And then we create a plot function. So it is approximately the same code that we have seen before for wave, but we use a function to avoid to copy the same code many times. And here it is a sail to make a loop on all the index time to create all the daily maps. Sorry, because I've forget to run the sail before. So now all the maps are saved in the folder figure for GIF wave. So here you have all the map, and here we create the GIF. So we select all the directory of all the file, and we sort to have a continuity of day. And here we create the animation with function image animate. It takes milliseconds. So now we can see the animation, and the GIF animation allows us to visualize the wave height during the storm, and we observe that the waves are highest after the storm pass. So around the October 3rd, we have with the height ranging 3 meters. I don't see we want. So now we will see the precipitation flux. So the storm Alex caused intense rainfall near the coast. So we will analyze the precipitation flux. So to do this, we open the file and load the relevant variable, and then we plot a map for different dates. So first we load all the variable. It is the same code that we have seen before. We identify the time index corresponding to the 4 selecting date. So it is from the October 1st to the October 4th, and it is daily. So there is the date here. And then we create a new function that is mapping to create a map. And finally we create the 4 map for the 4 day, and we plot the 4 map in the second figure. And we can see a peak of precipitation that occur in the 2nd of October. This is the most intense rainfall, and the value seems to be low because it is 4 mm per hour, but it is a daily value, so it is an average of 4 mm per hour over 24 hours. So it means it is 80 millimeters in a single day. That is important. And moreover, the precipitation was stronger in the ground, so it is a very intense precipitation. Now we will see the impact of the storm Alex on the temperature in the water column. So to do this, first we will open the file and and then we select the index of the selecting coordinate because we will work only on one point. Then we will create the vertical interpolation for each time profile, and finally we plot a map for different date. So first we load the variable. So we are looking the variation of temperature at a second point near Nice in France. So here it is the longitude and latitude. So we will search the nearest coordinate. And the nearest coordinate for the grid, it is this one. Then we create a data frame that dependent only on the depth and time, because we keep one longitude and latitude, that is index longitude and latitude. It is possible to see the data frame, so print data frame between you can see the data frame. It is depth, time and temperature. Then we create a regular vertical grid to avoid a blank between each depth. So it is for the aesthetic of the map. So for this we create a regular vertical grid. So each meters between the minimum and the maximum depth of data frame. And then we create an interpolation between the depth. So you can see here the value. So there is a value for each 1 meters. And then we plot the map. We use a ggplot, but here it is dependent of the time and depth, and the variable is temperature. So you can see the temperature dependent of the time here and the depth. So the storm has an impact on oceanographic parameters. It's missing the water, and during the passage of the storm decrease the temperature. It is possible to do the same figure with salinity to see if there is the same conclusion. So now the training is now finished. You have successfully completed this training. Thank you for your attention. We hope you enjoy this training in R about the storm Alex. You can try to over dataset or modify the support to show over oceanographic or atmospheric phenomena. So have a nice day. Bye.